Good afternoon, everyone, and happy International Women's Day. I'm Aryaan, international journalist, and I am here with a very special guest. Her name is Aryaan, and she is an international mentor who has specialized in leading people to their inner freedom by reprogramming their subconscious. And you're also the author of an international bestseller, on Amazon, called The Truth: Secrets of the Deep Subconscious. Welcome.
Hello. Good evening in Israel. I'm Israeli. In Israel is now evening night.
Wonderful. Thank you for being with us.
International Women's Day. Happy Women's Day to all the women who is watching us right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
It is.
So you've done a lot of work with women all over the world, obviously men and children, but women especially we're focusing on today because it's International Women's Day.
Yeah, this is a special day. It is. It reminds us that we are women and we still need our rights to be done and to live in a freedom way and to be equal.
Absolutely. So speaking of, equality, let's focus on the workplace. There's been a lot of movements to see in America and throughout the world now to see more equality between men and women in the workplace. We've seen a lot of equality for women in America. In other parts of the world, it's not so apparent yet, but it's getting there. I wanted to ask you specifically for women who are entering the business, who have entered the business world. Why do these women, according to your analysis, why do these women often play the role of men in the workplace?
Yeah, it's because the women in the role that they had, they used to be at home raising children and be in the kitchen. In the 80s, 90s, there were a revolution, the women revolution, and they want to fulfill themselves. They want to achieve the dreams and the things that they want, and they didn't know how to do it. So they thought the best way to do it is to adapt the masculine energy. Okay, to use the masculine energy, to think like a man, to wear the pantsuit, and to act like a man. And actually, they activate the masculine energy that it is in themselves. Let me just say one thing. Each of us has a masculine energy and the feminine energy. Whatever, if we are a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. We have the both. But women should use more the feminine energy. They used to use it when they were at home in the traditional role that they had. But when they decide to go to have their own career, to fulfill themselves, to earn money, and to play the role of business in business, they started to use the masculine energy and they avoid the feminine energy. That's what happened. And this is a really huge thing that even destroy the woman body and the hormones.
So essentially you're saying that women, because they've shifted away more from the traditional household roles into the workplace environment, they've kind of tapped into the masculine energy and it's overpowered the feminine energy. Of course, with everything in life, right, there's also a healthy balance, correct? So it's kind of about maintaining that balance and having both in a healthy way. Think that does using masculine energy contribute to, let's say, a decline in pregnancies? Do women actually block energy?
Absolutely. We can see during the last decade that it is increasing, the phenomenon that women cannot get to pregnancy very easily like they used to do. And if we look in the animals, we see that every animal gets pregnant. Nobody needs no treatments, no pills, no nothing. How come women and human beings, it becomes very hard for them to do the normal and natural things to be pregnant? And when I look at my research and the things that I measured for a long time, I can see that the fact that women in the last decade and even the last two decades, they are using the masculine energy in work, in the way they think, the way they behave, the way they manage their life. So they stay away from the feminine energy, and that's what's happened to them. The feminine energy is locked in the subconscious and is locked in the body. So that is the reason that the hormone energy, feminine hormone, is not working also, and that is the fact that a lot of women are referring to doctors, and they have a lot of problems to bring children to the world, that this is the natural things for them to do. Yeah.
Fascinating. You also mentioned that this has direct link to a rise in breast cancer and ovarian cancer, linked to the subconscious. Can you actually elaborate on this a little bit?
Yes, I want to say something about the subconscious. The subconscious is passing by heritage from generation to generation, from father and mother to the child. And we are in the subconscious. There are some conditioning, some codes that actually blocks the woman to achieve the things that she wants. Okay? This is one of the conditioning, the blocks, the code that they have inside is woman equals weaknesses. Okay? So women in the world want to achieve, they want to fulfill themselves. So they went to the career, but they couldn't do it with the women energy. So they use the masculine energy. What's happened is that the feminine energy become very locked inside the subconscious, and this position makes the cancer, makes all the diseases that we see in the last decades, that there are a lot of women are suffering from breast cancer, and even from Aryan cancer also. It's because of the blocks that we have in the subconscious, and these things that are in our veins, and it comes in generations.
You know, it's interesting. It can be very painful to be many times. We've seen this historically, right? So part of that is the manifestation of trying to maintain a good, healthy balance between both world and the feminine world, the masculine and feminine world, as you mentioned. And you talk about this a lot in your book, by the way, which is very fascinating.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you to elaborate a little bit more on the subconscious mind. You know, you mentioned that the subconscious mind of a woman has, you know, depending on her programming, it can equal I equals delete, or love equals rejection, love equals abandonment, all these different, 28 different conditionings that you mentioned in your book that you came to discover through your fascinating method. I'm wondering, is there a subconscious that is specific to women that is different from the subconscious of men, or are they the same?
Actually, they are very similar. They are the same, but they are the conditioning that we have. Women equals weaknesses, and women equals humiliation, and women equals self-delete. Those conditioning are in the subconscious of the woman and the subconscious of the man. The issue is they are the same, and they refer to women as a weak person. Even though that we are developed and we have a lot of things in our society, and we can see women go to the elections and women doing a lot of things, still this conditioning is inside of us, and it affects us unconsciously. We are not aware of that. That is the reason that women become a man. Because to be a woman, it's to be weak. To be a woman, it's to be humanity, human relation. To be a woman, it's to be not exist. And women do not want to feel those conditioning. That is the reason they are stay away of that. But those conditioning are in the man subconscious, in the male subconscious, in the women subconscious, in the feminine subconscious also. They are in the depths of the subconscious, and they are create the reality. They create what we feel, what we think, and how we behave, and how people will behave to us. So it means.
You mentioned. Yes, I want to go back to what you mentioned briefly. You mentioned that during even elections, women block themselves. I mean, that kind of drew me to think of the recent presidential election 2016, where Hillary Clinton was being hailed as the first female president. I mean, even Newsweek, all these different publications had prematurely put out, you know, articles, printed millions of them, I think, I don't know how many exactly, saying, Madam President, and she lost. Why do you think she lost? What did she do wrong?
Actually,
she was the vetted candidate by I guess, most standards.
Actually, I knew that she's going to lose the election. And I really felt sorry about her, because they say, wow, she's a woman, and it will be beautiful to see a woman as a president. And it can be seen that her subconscious is locked. It's two things. One, her subconscious was locked because of the conditioning. And I have to tell people, maybe a lot of people on the audience look at us now, maybe some of them understand what we talk about, and some of them a little bit less. The subconscious, it's something that stays inside each of us. It's like a manual of instructions, and it controls unconsciously. We are not aware of that. Everything that we are doing. And that conditioning that I'm talking about, they are in the subconscious, and it creates the way we react. Yes, and Hillary Clinton, it can be seen and shown that she has the woman equals weaknesses. And because of that, subconsciously, she prevents herself to win the election. And she was so close to that. Everybody thought that she's going to do it. And she stops herself from doing that. She stopped herself from doing that because of this conditioning. And it was in her subconscious, in the citizen of America also. Everybody can support her, but not vote to her, because in their subconscious, not in their conscious, she is a woman, and because of that, she's weak. And even if they say that they want to choose her and they believe in her, when they go to do it, when they went to do it, they couldn't do it because of the subconscious.
So according to your analysis, Mrs. Clinton had a subconscious programming that made her believe in her own mind, I guess, that women equal weakness, and therefore she presented herself in a way that she didn't think she could really win the election.
Yeah, and it was really, it's shown that she broke her leg. She devastated 2 months before the elections. And you can see that it's hard for her. And when she was talking, it can be seen that she should take a lot of effort to speak. It was hard for her, what was very easy for Donald Trump.
So let's talk about President Donald Trump. What you see his charisma, you see how he's able to draw the massive crowds that he does, and the really overt confidence that he has when he's speaking. It's kind of a dichotomy between what you described about Hillary Clinton and now Donald Trump. Why did Donald Trump win? Besides the fact that he was very popular in many ways, I guess.
I was sure that he's going to win, even though in that period of time, all the media say that he's not going to win. Everybody laughed at him, but I knew all the time that he's going to do it. And because he is a master of subconscious, you can see in his history that he knows how to manifest the subconscious and how to control it. He's not a person that you can lose the game. He can stop. He can make it harder, but he will win the game because he knows how to control the brain. And the history shows that, and I was sure that he will gain the election, and I'm sure that he will continue to stay the president of the United States.
Great. Let's see how it works out.
Not because he's a man, I have to say. I think that he's a man, it helps him because I said before, it's not that Hillary had this conditioning. All the people in the subconscious, that it's above all the people that are engraved in the same conditioning. But he's a strong.
You said she also loved herself, right?
Yeah, she has it. That's the reason it was so dramatic, because you can see that people wanted her. When she lost the election, people cried. People were
Absolutely.
afraid, you know.
They were
but
devastated.
She didn't win. Why?
Yes.
How come? She didn't.
Still, yes.
She had
what?
What?
You just explain your analysis why, which is great.
Yeah, okay.
So
what? I can't.
I want to move on to the next question, though, dealing with this. So it's amazing to see, you know, on International Women's Day, you know, I've talked on many panels before, and been covering very closely the plight of women in the Middle East. You know, all these laws and, you know, social, societal, traditional, modern phenomenons mostly that kind of prevent women, block them from advancing in society. Oftentimes we see, and I'll get to your necklace that you're wearing, by the way, later on.
This is a special necklace.
Very special, and it has a lot to do with today's topic and today's very special day. A lot of women tend to be abused, unfortunately. It's a big epidemic throughout the world. I'm wondering, why, in your opinion, do women attract emotionally abusive relationships and often not even realize it?
Yeah, it's really strange, but it's very popular. A lot of people and women, especially very strong women, that they attract to their life men that will abuse them, emotional abuse them. It can be, by the way, that is not given. It doesn't give them a love. It doesn't give them the opportunity to have a good sex and go to orgasm, to feel good in sex. It can be in a way that it can give them just drops of love, drops of affection, and they're still there. It's because of the gap we have. On the one hand, they are very successful. They can be a businesswoman. They can be very powerful women that you can admire them. But in the subconscious, they don't believe that they deserve real love. They don't believe that they deserve to treat as a woman. As I said before, when they are in the career, in the work, in the professional things, they use the masculine energy. So they are very strong in the masculine energy, but when they are coming to the feminine energy is wounded. That is the reason that they attract to their life a man that will make them feel small, will give them the feeling that they are not worthy enough, and they stay there because of the gap. Because of the gap inside of them, really inside of them, in their veins, they don't feel that they deserve real love. They don't feel that they really are appreciated, and they are suffering, actually.
I think in your book you mentioned this conditioning as woman equals humiliation.
Yeah. This conditioning is engraved in the subconscious, as I said, and it controls the brain, and it gives the woman, the specific woman like that, the opportunity to success in work because she doesn't feel a woman, but in a relationship, she feels the feminine energy, and then the conditioning, unconsciously conditioning woman equals humiliation. It starts to work, and then she finds a person that will humiliate her. Let her feel that she is nothing, that she doesn't worth anything, and she feels that it is love. And the worst thing is that she is really believe that it's true. He is always blame her. Let her feel that this is her fault. Everything is her fault. If they have fight, if they're fighting, this is her fault. This fight comes because of she did it. And she actually agree with that because of these conditionings. Because of the conditioning that said woman equals humiliation, she is agree. Sorry?
Humiliation. Mm-hmm.
Humiliation, yes, my accent, okay? English is not my mother language, so I'm trying. And because of this conditioning, woman feels all the time, blame that she's not good enough, and this man is touching the point of the conditioning. Okay, he is manifest the conditioning.
It's interesting. Do you believe that when, based on your experience working with women who experience this kind of subconscious block and conditioning, have you worked with them, and once they've overcome this, has their relationship changed? Have you seen them stay?
Absolutely and radically. Absolutely and radically. They become strong. They become feminine. You can see the feminine energy that is beautiful energy, strong energy, magnetizing energy, come alive again. They become feminine, they become worthy. We don't have to teach them how to be feminine and how to be worthy, just come naturally because they are women and they should be beautiful from the inside out, and they should be magnetizing, and they should have all that life that they needed. Yes, when I worked with women that they are very successful women, and when we start and we reprogram the subconscious and change the conditioning from woman equals humiliation to woman equals strength, strong and secure, they become secure in the feminine energy, and they become a very strong and the people that the men that they attract to their life, or men that can respect them, love them, cherish them, and let them feel safe and good in the feminine energy. Absolutely.
So it's interesting what you're saying about feminine energy. Why have, there's been a lot of great strides that women's libs and feminism have done in the past. But I personally noticed a bit of a shift, and recently I've noticed that society looks down upon the word feminine. Why, in your opinion, does society, in certain parts of society, Western, I think mostly, why does society shun the word feminine and the quality of being feminine and femininity, in your opinion?
I think that the women and the society are tired from the feminism. I think that the feminism was good in that time, where we felt that we want to go out from the kitchen and we want to fulfill ourselves and we want to shout to the world and shout to the people that we are alive and we exist and we have the right to do what we want. But now time it changes. It changed, and you can see that women sometimes feels very disappointed and very in very hard times, because they have to struggle between the career in one hand, and other hand they have to be a woman at home, to cook, to raise children, and they become tired of that because they are using, as I repeat it again, they are using the masculine energy. They become tired. Most of the women that I'm talking with them also, and they can be from Israel, the country that I come from, and it can be from other world also, other countries also. They say to me, and I'm amazed to hear it, they are tired. They are tired to be a man. They are tired to compete all the time. They are tired to struggle. They are tired to show all the time that they are wealthy. They want to work. They want to create. They want to do the things, but they want to do it in other way. They want to do it in the feminine approach. And the feminine approach is a different way to create and to work. And yes, they want to change. Absolutely.
So it's interesting what you said, women are tired of feminism, all this stuff. What you said is very interesting, how it's kind of it's done its thing, and now the time has passed. And people actually, I was on a panel also earlier speaking about this, and people want to know, what is the goal of the feminist movement? No one really seems to know anymore. So what you're saying is very, very, very eye-opening, actually.
Yeah, what I'm saying that life it changes, and we always change and we always grow, and women are very strong, and women has a huge energy. And when they were in the kitchen in the 50s, in the 30s, they were in the kitchen raising children. It was the thesis. After that, they have to work the things. They make the antithesis. Now is the synthesis, the both, the integration of the both. They want to work, they want to fulfill themselves, they want to reach the aims that they want to do, but they want to do it in a different way. They are tired. They are tired to be a man. They don't want to be a man. They don't want to struggle anymore. They want to show that I'm number one, I am the best. They don't want to compete. They want to do it in a different way. But what is the problem? They don't know what is the different way. Because that in the subconscious, the feminine energy is locked. So they have to go to the subconscious, to the veins, to the history of their generation. Actually, it's the history of the human race. And to reprogram the subconscious, again, that will release the feminine energy. And when the feminine energy will be released, all the world going to change. Because there's energy of a woman, it's the stronger energy that we have in this universe.
It's fascinating. So yeah, I think what you're saying is
beautiful also.
It's beautiful and it's very important actually, because you're saying essentially that women don't need to feel ashamed for being feminine, that the more they embrace it, the happier they'll be. And I think they'll attract a lot more, I guess, positivity to their lives because they don't have to hide away from having this very special quality. And I think that you're also very correct in pointing out that a lot of the stress that women experience in balancing the personal and professional work life has to do with competing with men.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be competition, so to speak. Exactly.
The worst thing that they are doing for decades, it's not just competing with men, it's competing between women. You can see that jealousy of women to other women is the strongest jealousy that we can have. And this is the opposite from the feminine energy. The feminine energy is love. The feminine energy is compassion. The feminine energy is magnetizing. It's the opposite. And when we will be friendly, familiar with that energy, each woman we have to do the work with ourselves, inside ourselves, to trust that energy, to love that energy. It's not matter of me and you and other women. It's a matter of generations. It comes even from the day of the Bible. You can see that in the Bible there's no woman. There are a little bit stories of women, but most of the heroes were men.
Yes, the Devorah, all these women, Sarah, Rachel, Hannah.
Yeah, but there was a side. The hero was Abraham, the hero was Jacob, and the hero was Isaac, okay? But the woman was aside and she was there. There's a few women that actually were in the front, they were a hero, okay? People in the society are afraid from the feminine energy because they know when the feminine energy will release, the world going to be changed, because the power of this energy is a strong power, is a power that can create. We are, as a woman, we can create reality. We can bring children to the world. Okay, so as we can bring the children to the world, we can bring changes, love, compassion, and really we can see a difference in this society.
Speaking of the fear that people in certain parts of society have against women, I think we see this quite evidently in the Middle East. I always tend to say that the Achilles heel, the weak spot of the Iranian regime will be the women, in a big part of it at least. And I think that you see societies that are slowly integrating, women more into special roles. And then, like, take, for example, Saudi Arabia, right? Very, very great strides taken forward by the Crown Prince, a 32-year-old young man who has a very, very progressive vision for his country in the future. It's very funny also to note that although women have started taking driving lessons, a lot of them still don't really want to drive. They hire their... the roads in Saudi Arabia aren't very safe. But I wanted to get a little bit more.
This is a belief in your subconscious, darling. Why do you believe that women cannot drive? It's dangerous that women will drive?
Oh,
Isn't
I
it?
think it's wonderful. It's funny. I've spoken to men from Saudi Arabia who work in the cabinet, and they've told me. I asked a man point blank. I said, "So, are you? How do you feel when this is before he passed the law? When will women be able to drive?" And he said, "Oh, women don't really want to drive. The roads are horrible." And then I speak to women who are very excited about driving in Saudi Arabia, and some who prefer not to. So again, you have a mixed bag. You have some people who want to, some people who don't. I think it's wonderful though that Crown Prince Salman, he's doing this, and he's really, really opening up society for the females to be more integrated and to have a role that is not dictated by the male guardianship.
I have to mention one thing that you said. When I'm talking about feminine energy, I don't mean that women has to be in the kitchen and they must be very close and not drive. I mean that they have to drive, they have to involve and to bring themselves to the society, to drive, to do the internet, to know everything, to speak, to do everything, but to be connected to the energy. It's different. When we talk about the Middle East, as we said in Arabic, Shakil Asad, yes, this is different there. What can I say? When I spoke with people from from Iran and from Arab countries, I can see that women there got the powers also. They feel the power, they become stronger, but they're still hiding. They're hiding. They hide behind the curtains.
I think what you're trying to say is that a society that is dictated and run by women who actually embrace their feminine energy is one that's much happier. That women will who are in the workforce who kind of try to kill the feminine energy and tap solely into the masculine energy, it's not going to be the same fruitfulness as if they're able to embrace the feminine side of them and the masculine side. They don't have to relegate one side only.
It's not something that is stronger than the other thing. It must be balance between two of them. And he said another thing, that to be a woman, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to drive. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stay in the kitchen at home. No, it means that I'm going to be connected to very strong energy that is inside of me. And this energy, it's the energy that can create reality. This is energy that can magnetize, this energy that can contain, the energy that can do a lot of things that can help me in my career and help me to reach my aims and aims in a very different way, in a way that I'm not delete my energy, the feminine energy.
It's so interesting. Everyone kind of has heard of The Secret. I feel like The Secret does some part of explaining, but I feel like what you've discovered here with your method is really just, it's the deeper overall true.
Actually. Yeah, that's the reason that's the reason I call my book The Truth. Yes, it is. The Secret gave the first chapter, the first stage to the universe that actually we can achieve whatever we want. You say, you whisper, you deliver your dream, and the universe give it back to you. But as I researched for 15 years, I made a research and I developed a method that said, okay, if there are blocks in the subconscious, a blocks that we actually get it as heritage from a generation, from mother and father to children, to grandfather to grandchildren, and they are in our veins, this conditioning avoid us from reaching to the things that we want. And it makes my heart, it touches to my heart sometimes. It makes me sometimes so sad to see that person has huge potential, and the universe gives them opportunities and gives them the opportunity to do and to reach the things that he wants, and he actually avoid it. And he doesn't know that he avoided, because he's telling himself stories. Oh, it's not for me. Oh, I think it's not the right time. I have to wait. And you see how he is wasting the opportunity. And it's something that I say, wow, the universe has a lot of things to give us. We should be open to get and receive, and the most important thing, to release the subconscious, to unlock the locks, to release the subconscious, to reprogram it, and to release the blocks that avoid us from achieving the things that we want. And then we can see the reality changes dramatically.
Aryaan, you have a very, very amazing personal story that you, if you'd be willing to share it, that you touchly briefed upon in your book as well, which everyone should absolutely, I highly recommend that you get it from Amazon.com. It's Aryaan Lev, A-R-I-A-N, last name L-E-V, which actually means heart, or love, right? In Hebrew, Lev, heart.
Lev, it means heart, yeah.
Yes, so exactly. So Aryaan Lev, and it's called The Truth. So to take a look at it on Amazon.com, it's a bestseller. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your personal journey. And if you'd like to talk about it a little bit, and how you came to this method that you created. It's a very fascinating, incredible story, actually.
Yes.
You wouldn't mind telling the audience a little bit about it?
Yeah, I will, with pleasure. My journey was a little bit hard when I started. I started to initiate the method when I was at age 26. And before that, when I became adult and I became teenage, after teenage, you know, in Israel, we dropped into the army, and I became commander in the Israeli army. And all that time, I felt inside like I devoted to two persons, and I'm not, okay? On the one hand, I was very assertive, with a lot of self-esteem, very strong, very tough. That's the reason I was a commander, okay? And inside of myself, I had a lot of low self-esteem, a lot of pain, completely a personality that is very hesitated. I was like a two-person in the same place. And when I went to work, when I went to fulfill my ambitions, I was very strong, but in my personal life, when I was with myself, I felt like nothing, actually, really nothing. And of course, as I'm saying here in this podcast, I attract to my life a man that used to be my husband that abused me. Mental abuse and physical abuse, the same. Because I felt inside that I'm not worthy. It's not something that I woke up in the morning and say to myself, I'm worthy. No, today I'm worthy. Today I'm not worthy. Okay? It's something that comes from the inside. It controls the brain. And then I thought, if I would divorce my ex-husband, maybe things will change. So I did it, but it wasn't. Still, I found myself with a lot of difficulties with men, difficulties even with work. And then I said to myself, what happened here? I must to figure it out. And then I initiated the research. I opened the Aryaan Lev Center. People used to come to my center because I was very famous in my ability as an X-ray. Okay, I have very strong intuition and I can see through people. So people used to come to my center. It was 15 years ago, and today they are still coming, but I'm talking about 15 years ago. And I could see through them into their inner self. And then I saw the power of the subconscious. I saw that there is a huge power inside of them that controls them. They actually think that they can choose, but they cannot choose. There's something inside that controls the brain. And then I initiated the research. I hired a brain researcher from an Israeli institute, and a lot of people that work with the body, work with the soul, and the psychologists, and together in a group, we actually made a huge research, and I was in charge of that. And the research that I made gave the things that we know is famous as the Aryeh Lev method. We discovered the 28 codes that they are located very deep in the subconscious and controls the brain, and actually create our life and our reality. And 1 second, I want to finish this sentence, because there's no reality, people. The reality is imagination. It's what we imagine from the inside, and it reflects in the outside.
This is phenomenal what you just said, because essentially what you're saying is every individual holds the key to manifesting their own destiny and their own future.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when we say the boss is not good with us, and we don't have any luck, I don't know why I can't reach the job that I want. And when we're trying to do the secret and things positive, but life is negative, it's not because life is not fair. Don't you believe that? Because life is fair and life is beautiful. It's just because we are reprogrammed in the subconscious that is like that. And it's something that is not our blame. It's not our fault. Okay, it's something that comes in generation, and the beautiful in this time that we can change it and we can release it. And this is the message that we people should know.
That's a very, very inspiring and beautiful message. And you now have about a number of franchises for your school and your method where it's being taught throughout Israel, the United States. That's congratulations on that. That's a wonderful achievement. And I really, I think especially on, Women's Day and having read part of your book, which has kept me like going on and on, I would like to also hear, if you wouldn't mind talking about it, maybe a story or two about women who you've worked with, who actually were clients of yours and had undergone the treatment and therapy, and what their lives were like before, what their conditioning was perhaps, and after having gone through the Aryeh Lev method, what happened to them? How did their lives change?
Okay, I can, one of the clients that I think about her, she's a beautiful businesswoman. She has a clothes shop, boutiques, and she had a lot of anxieties always that she's going to lose her business, that her business was going to fall. And each time that she started to succeed, each time that she started to earn money, the amount that she wants or close to the amount that she wants, it's like something happened and she become close and the money will disappear. She couldn't enjoy from the money. She couldn't contain the money. And then she asked me, and she came to my therapy sessions, and she asked to know what's going on. Why each time she's achieving the point that she wants, she reaching the point, she's earning money, she's barely going to do it, and then something happened. It can be in the personal life, it can be even disease. Something happened that stopped her and don't give her the opportunity to do what she wants. And when we started to dig to the subconscious, to go down layer by layer, we looked and saw that she has a conditioning that says life equals danger.
Wow.
The life is dangerous. So the people that activate from this conditioning all the time will want to be in very safe place. They're using to the safe place. They're using to the same thing that you do to do it again and again each time. They are using. They are getting used to their habits. They're getting even addicted to the habits that they have, and they're afraid to do changes, to have changes in their life. And each time that she was very close to a change, the subconscious felt danger. It felt that she's going to leave the safe zone. And then the subconscious controls the brain and gives a red light to the brain, and the brain starts to feel anxiety, because the brain doesn't know whatever is imagination or reality. For the brain is the same, and the brain starts to react as like she's going to lose control, she's going to fall, she's going to lose all her money, and she's going to be even homeless, without food, without ability to eat. So it makes her very sad, because she wants to success, she wants to reach, to fulfill and to achieve her dreams. And each time she was very close, very nearby, something happened, and she come back to the beginning start. So when we realize that she is activated from this conditioning, we actually reprogram it from life equals danger to life equals security and safe. And it changed her life radically. What I want to say here, it's not something that we teach. It's something that we are reprogrammed. We put the person in the position of alpha waves of the brain. It means that he's not asleep and is not awake, in the middle. And then we can touch the subconscious, the inner memories which control our lives, and then we are reprogramming. So when we reprogram this and change it, she didn't have to do anything. She didn't have to decide, oh, today I feel safe, I will do things. No, she continued to do the same thing that she has done before, but she saw a different results. She succeeded, and she reached her dream. And now she has stores in Israel and outside Israel also, and she even got her husband, the husband she was dreaming about. Even that was the changes, and she completely in the different state. And this is all because of the reprogramming of that the conditioning. We have 28 conditions, and it's very important to locate the exact condition which it activate you. You should be very, very accurate. And then we find the right moment which this condition engraved in the subconscious, and then we reprogram it, and the changes that person got is phenomenal. It's even unbelievable. You can see people that have suffered, that they really suffered, and their life changed.
So, that's so inspiring, and especially on today of all days, International Women's Day. And speaking of suffering, the necklace that you're wearing right now, I'd love you to show to the audience. Yeah. It's handmade, correct? From Africa?
This is handmade necklace from Africa, and this is a huge story that that touched my heart so much. You're in America and I'm in Israel. We can say and talk about women's rights, but actually, we live women. Yeah, this is Africa, yes. But actually, we live good, Adele, aren't we?
We're very, very blessed. We're very lucky.
We're very blessed. We are free. I have my career. You have your career. We are modern women. But there in Africa, there are some women, especially the women that made this necklace, that are coming from Uganda. There are some women that they are not in the same place. They are in very desperate position. They are not considered as a human being. They are considered as a property, the property of the country, the property of the man. They don't have any rights, and they are suffering in abusing relationship, the most abusing relationship that you can think about. And
sold for marriages, sold for cattle, sheep.
Really?
Yes, sorry.
Really. Mm-hmm. And it's so, and you see them, what the worst thing that touched my heart. And I say to myself, this year is the year that I'm going to work with Africa. I'm going to do the reprogramming subconscious to African women and children and people, and especially those women. Because what touched my heart is to see that they really don't believe that they deserve anything. They don't believe in the power. Even though that we are here and talking about women's rights, each of us believe that we can do it and that we deserve it, but they don't believe that they deserve it. And they are just a property, and they think, okay, that they have a man, that the man is feeding them, so they feel, okay, so I'm blessed, and I will do everything that the man asked me to do because this is my aim. I'm successful, but they don't see themselves. And here, there is a beautiful community that helps them, that comes from Israel and in other countries, also United States, Germany, and they gave them the opportunity to do this necklace, to do these creative things. And this is the things you see, it's with a special way, African way, you can see it. And they're doing that, yes, and the community they're selling it in the internet, and all the money going to a donation to those women. And I'm so happy, Adele, I must say to you. You know why I'm happy? Because I don't believe. No, I didn't hear you.
I said, besides the fact that you're a generally happy person, from what I take from it, why are you happy today?
I'm happy because I don't believe in donation. I believe that donation keeps the people in the same position that it was before. Okay, keep the people small, just donate them, give them money, but they still...
Or government handouts, because that's a different topic.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
But here, what I like, that the women here actually are creating, they're using their abilities, and they create that, and it's a beautiful necklace, and they sell it. So they got this money, not as a donation, as a salary, as a revenue, as a things that comes to their own abilities. So each of us.
So you're saying that along with that, it gives them a value, a sense of value, and that they've worked for it, and it helps motivate them to work harder because they see the benefits of putting the work into it and seeing the results.
And they make us more beautiful with the necklace. And we are giving them what?
I said you're already beautiful.
But so beautiful. And this gives them back the opportunity to earn the money. And we say to them when we donate or when we buy this necklace, we say to them, we really appreciate your thing. And they need it. Because of that, they feel inside out they're worthy, and they can be a woman, and they can be a human being, and they can create. This is very important.
You're absolutely correct.
And other thing that I want to say, that we are, as a woman, if you want to start to feel the feminine energies, we talked about this in this show again and again in this interview. The first step is to be in a state of love, compassion, and to help each other, and to help all the sisters that we have, women in the world, and to say, okay, they need our support, we will support them, because we are women, we are not competitive for each other, we support each other. So
I think once the world goes through your method, that'll be more of a reality.
Yeah, and this is my mission. I'm looking to see the world, people without conditioning, blocking conditioning. Wow, it will be amazing.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today on International Women's Day.
Thank you very much for guessing me.
And we look forward to, again, if you want to receive a copy of Ariane's book, I'll send a link to the Facebook Live video. You can find it at the bottom of the link and of the video itself. Thank you, Ariane. Shalom from Israel, to Israel, and we look forward to having you on again very soon.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Have a great evening. Bye.